Why? Why haven't I got the cop a single damn thing?
新幹線内で銃撃にあった。死体があるから片付けさせ。
So I can touch me, don't you?
デンジ君みたいな人。
What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Let's be 100% real. The Chainsaw Man fandom is famously down bad for one person in particular, Makima. The memes are legendary. I want her to step on me, she can fix me, dommy mommy, we've all seen it. And on the surface, who can blame you? She's charismatic, powerful, beautiful, and in control.
But what if I told you that's the entire point? What if I told you that your uncontrollable urge to like her, even as she does monstrous things, is exactly the reaction her real-life counterparts want? What if I told you that Tatsuki Fujimoto didn't just write a good villain? He wrote a terrifyingly accurate, step-by-step clinical case study of a textbook psychological abuser.
All right, put the memes away for a minute. We're not just talking about her devil powers. We're talking about the real-world manipulation tactics she uses to systematically break down every single person she meets, especially Denji. We're talking about love bombing, we're talking about gaslighting, we're talking about classic trauma bonding. This isn't just a story about devils, this is a story about the very real horror of psychological abuse. And this analysis will change how you see the control devil forever. So, what is the first play in the abuser's handbook? It's not to be mean. It's not to be cruel. It's to be the perfect, most wonderful person you have ever met. It's a tactic called love bombing. This is the phase of idealization, of overwhelming a victim with affection, praise, and gifts to create a powerful, immediate sense of attachment. And no one in history has ever been a more perfect target for this than Denji. Let's look at the facts. When Makima finds Denji, what is his life? He is not even human. He is a piece of walking, talking trash, living in a shed, selling his own body parts to the Yakuza to pay off a debt he didn't even incur. His only dream is to eat bread with jam on it. He is starved not just for food, but for any form of basic human decency or affection. And then she appears, like an angel. And what does she do? She doesn't just offer him a job. She looks at this blood-soaked, feral boy creature and she hugs him. She gives him the first non-violent physical contact he has probably ever had. And then she takes him to a restaurant and gives him his first real meal. And when he's overwhelmed, what does she do? She doesn't judge him. She smiles, and with warmth, she feeds him. In the span of a single afternoon, she has become his savior. She gave him a name, she gave him food, she gave him a home, a job, and a purpose. This isn't kindness. This is a strategic acquisition. She saw a starving stray and she offered it a warm bed, specifically so it would be loyal to her, and only her. She also uses future faking, a key part of love bombing. She dangles the promise of a normal life, of a relationship, of a date. She promises to grant his dream life if he's a good boy. She's created a narrative where she is the sole provider of all good things in his life. The hook is set. Once the hook is set, the abuser moves to phase 2, gaslighting and devaluation. Gaslighting is a vicious tactic where the abuser manipulates a victim into doubting their own memory, their own perception of reality, and ultimately their own sanity. The abuser's goal is to become the sole arbiter of what is true. And Makima is a master of this. Her entire relationship with Denji is one giant, systematic gaslight. It's all summed up in the dog metaphor. She constantly dehumanizes him, but frames it as a compliment. She tells him, "You're a good dog. I like you like a dog." This seems cute to an outside observer, but what is she really saying? She's saying, "You are not my equal. You are a pet."
She actively discourages his personal growth. When he starts to have complex thoughts, what does she say? "You don't need to think. I don't need a dog that thinks." She makes him believe that his own thoughts are worthless and that his only value comes from his obedience to her. She is literally training him to stop being a person.
And the ultimate, most horrific gaslight in the entire series, the final reveal. After breaking him completely, she sits him down and calmly informs him that he, Denji, murdered his own father as a child, that his entire life, his memory of his father's suicide, was a lie his own mind created to cope. She destroys his entire origin story, his last shred of identity, and rewrites his reality to be one where he was always a monster, and she was the only one kind enough to take him in. That is a checkmate move in psychological warfare. So you have the idealization of the love bombing and the devaluation of the gaslighting. How do you stick them together? You create a vicious, addictive cycle. This is called trauma bonding. The abuser intentionally creates a cycle of abuse, followed by reward. They are the source of all your pain. And then suddenly, they are the source of all your comfort. This push and pull creates a powerful, addictive chemical bond, like a drug. Let's look at the Bat Devil arc. Denji fails Makima because power runs away. Makima's squad shows up and she is cold. She is disappointed. She is about to discard him, to kill him. This is the abuse phase. Denji is terrified, but then he manages to kill the devil and save the day. And what does Makima do? She doesn't just say, "Good job," she rewards him. She takes him on that date. They go to the movies, and in that dark theater, she lets him hold her hand. This cycle repeats over and over. He gets rewarded for killing the bomb devil, Rez. But who is Rez? The first girl to genuinely like Denji, the person, not Chainsaw Man. Makima rips that real connection away from him, then rewards him for doing his job, which reestablishes her as the only valid source of affection in his life. He becomes an addict, chasing the high of her approval, willing to endure any amount of pain in the abuse phase just to get back to the reward phase. And finally, we come to the last stage. The discard, or in an abuser's mind, the final test of control. When the victim is at their most broken, the abuser will often isolate them from their final support systems. This is to prove once and for all that nothing matters but the abuser. And this is the murder of power. Denji has finally found a new family. He has a life with Aki and power. It's chaotic, it's messy, but it's real. It's a support system that isn't Makima. And the controlled devil cannot have that. So what does she do? She has Aki killed. And then she has Denji kill the possessed Aki, traumatizing him on a level we can't even imagine. And when he's at his absolute lowest, reeling, he goes to the one person he thinks he can still trust. He goes to Makima's apartment. And his last friend, Power, shows up to celebrate his birthday. And in that moment, as Denji stands there, broken, Makima casually, with a smile on her face, points her finger and says, "Bang." She murders his last remaining friend, his sister, in front of him and laughs as he holds her dying body. This is the ultimate act of psychological torture. It is the final, horrifying statement. All other connections are meaningless. I am the only one. I am the source of all your pain and all your pleasure. I give and I take away. And you are nothing. She didn't just break him, she pulverized his entire reality. The people who say, "Step on me, mommy," aren't wrong. They're just seeing the hook. Tatsuki Fujimoto wrote one of the most terrifying villains in all of fiction, not because she can level cities or control minds with magic, but because her methods are 100% real. She is the walking embodiment of psychological abuse. The horror of Chainsaw Man isn't the devil's. It's the terrifying, methodical, and all too human way you can break a person's soul. So I have to ask you, now that you've seen the full psychological profile, does this change how you view Makima? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below. This is a complex topic, and I want to hear what you think.
If you enjoyed this deep dive and this breakdown, please hit that like button. It helps the channel more than you know. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe and ring that bell for more deep dive analyses that go beyond the surface. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.